Is it better to buy than rent? And what the heck is an RD loan? Welcome everyone to episode 009 of the Ask Jason Gelios show. I'm your host, Jason Gelios, local Southeast Detroit, Michigan realtor. Hey, special thanks to everyone who sent in questions to me and who have been supportive of the show. You guys know who you are, so thank you. And if you're new to this show, I want you to know that this show gets uploaded to YouTube once a week, typically on Thursday. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. So I have a couple great questions. We're going to talk about what the heck are USDA or RD loans, and I'm not talking about the food, and is it better to buy a home versus rent? So let's go ahead and get into the show. Somebody was asking me, is it better to buy a home versus rent? This is a huge debate going on. Some people say that it's better to rent because you won't have the added cost of home ownership. Other people say that renting is a waste of money and you shouldn't do it because you're just throwing away money to a landlord. So I'm going to share with you my personal opinion first, and then I'm going to share with you some facts that you have to know. So my personal opinion is if you're going to be somewhere long term, you're probably better off buying. You build up the equity usually. Every market's different. But you typically will build up some form of equity or at least get your money back. I know some people will say, well, years ago people lost. Well, yeah, that was also a rare occurrence that the market dropped really bad. But if you're going to be somewhere long term, I always say it's better to buy. And what do I mean by long term? Well, let's just say, 3 to 5 years or more, So that's my personal opinion. Now, here's some facts. Okay, if you rent a place, yes, you won't have much, if any, home ownership costs, whether you're renting an apartment. Okay, they have a maintenance person on staff, and if you rent a home, which, by the way, a real estate agent can help you find those as well if you want to rent a home. But if you rent a home, you may be responsible for some things. Just depends on what you put into a contract with the landlord. But ultimately, you're not building up equity. You're just putting your money away. A perk to renting is, let's say you have to move in a year or two because of your job or your situation, or you're in the military, and they bounce you around the country. Then it's better to rent because you can leave typically on a 30 days notice. So that's something that is a perk if someone is looking to live somewhere short term. Long term, renting can be a waste of money. If you're looking to rent somewhere and your credit allows it, you should really buy. It makes more financial sense because there's a lot of things that you can do. And I'm not a tax professional, but I know tax professionals, and there are some write-offs that you can have, if you're doing energy savings on your house, new windows, things like that. But consult with your tax preparer first before taking tax advice. So, but ultimately, renting is good short-term. Buying a home, purchasing a home or condo, whatever, is great if you're going to be there long-term. I would say 3 years or more. 3 years may not seem like long-term to some of you, but in terms of a real estate market, you can make some money on doing that. So, but just know that renting, there's typically less maintenance costs, I should say, if any, and home ownership. So it just depends on your ultimate personal situation, but just know that, when someone tells you, renting's horrible, it's not always horrible. It just depends on where you're going to rent and your personal situation, work, career, all that fun stuff. So that's my stance on that. Someone asked me last week, what is an RD loan or USDA loan? Now, we're not talking about food here. We're talking about it's a guaranteed loan by the USDA that a participating lender offers, kind of similar to FHA, and it's zero down home purchase loan. I believe it also covers home improvements as well. But if you're a home buyer and you're looking to buy a home in the country, if the area qualifies, which is pretty common in northern Macomb County, St. Clair County, things like that, possibly even Oakland County, but it's very easy to qualify, and you can ultimately obtain an RD loan. So if I was selling a home, I would look at having that all set up to where your house would be okay to accept RD loans. Now, how do you qualify for an RD loan? So you're the home buyer, you want to buy a home, zero down. How do you qualify for this? Well, I'm going to go over some of the things here. So, okay, you have to be a U.S. citizen, okay, or permanent residency. The monthly payment, it has to be about 29% or less, which contact a loan officer because, you know, loan guidelines change all the time, but typically 29% or less of your monthly income, okay? Sometimes they'll let you go up to 41%. So there's still debt versus income, just like normal mortgages, okay? USDA may require or may allow you to go up higher, but again, personal situation. So dependable income for a minimum of 24 months, which most loan officers will look at the past 24 months. Acceptable credit history, okay? No accounts over converted to collections in the last 12 months, things like that. So basically, you have to qualify for a regular loan, okay? But this is just focused on if you're buying in a rural area. Okay, so that's all I have for episode 009 of the Ask Jason Gelios show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For those that watch this every week, thank you so much. For those that share it, definitely appreciate that. If you have not subscribed to this show, subscribe to it, at Jason Gelios on YouTube, or click the link below. I always have a subscribe link at the bottom. And if you're looking for a real estate professional who has your back, whether you're buying or selling, then click on my website below, or reach out to me, or even put your info in the comments and I'll reach out to you. So thank you so much for watching, and make it a great week. You guys haven't subscribed? You should subscribe. You're still here. You're still watching. Go to my YouTube channel by clicking the link in the comments. Whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, subscribe today. I appreciate it.